Hey, what's up? I want to talk to you today about an operation called algebraic addition. Now, what you need to remember in order to do algebraic addition is that all numbers have signs to them. All numbers are signed numbers, okay? So right here we have a 2, which is a positive 2. And right down here we have the opposite of that, which is the opposite of 2. The symbol means opposite. Then we have 5 and the opposite of 5, and 11 and the opposite of 11. Okay? This is what you guys need to remember about sign numbers, that all of them have signs on them. Okay? Now, the positive numbers, we don't normally write the signs on them, just because it's easier not to. You guys know it's easier to write 5 than plus 5 every time you mean positive 5. Okay? So just remember that. Okay, the next thing that you need to know about algebraic addition is the orientation of the numbers. Now, traditionally, what we show this as is position or direction that each one of the numbers have. Now, what we normally deal with is the counting numbers. So what we have is to the right is what we call the positive numbers. Okay, to the right of 0, which is kind of the balance point that numbers balance on. Okay. We have the positive numbers over here, and then to the left we have what we call the opposite of those numbers. Now we have a word for that, which is negative numbers. But just keep in mind that these negative numbers are the opposite of the positive numbers. So over here I'm going to have positive 1, and over here I'm going to have the opposite of that, which is negative 1. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, now the cool thing about algebraic addition is that order does not matter. Now I want you to take a look at these two examples that I have up here. Now these are both the same thing under algebraic addition, alright? Now, what you learned in subtraction was that the order mattered. So if I wanted to do this problem, which is the same problem, I would have to put 7 take away 6, right? Okay, I'd put 7 take away 6. Now this expression actually means the same. But let's take a look at it in the form of, let's say that it was set up like this. Okay, so what we have here is negative 6 plus 7, or the opposite of 6 plus 7. All right. Now, as far as orientation goes, you just need to remember that adding moves you to the right, moves you further to positive infinity, and doing the opposite of adding moves you in the opposite direction, towards negative infinity. Okay. So let's take a look at negative 6 plus 7. Now, you always want to start out, just like with 7 minus 6, you want to start out here and read it left to right. That's the way that we read English. So I'm going to start here at negative 6, and now I'm going to add 7 to that, which means move it 7 places to the right. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm at positive 1. Okay? Now, let's look at it this way. I'm going to start here at 7, or positive 7, which I didn't write on here, I should have. Start at positive 7, and then I'm going to go and add to it negative 6, or the opposite of 6. Okay, so I'll go in the opposite direction of the positive direction, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it still brings me there. And if you just think of it as 7 minus 6, you know, it's the same thing. But under algebraic addition, it's the same thing either way. The important thing is, order doesn't matter. Okay, so now let me show you a different example. This one is 5 plus the opposite of 6, or the opposite of 6 plus 5. You can do it either way, because remember, in algebraic addition, the order of the two operands doesn't matter, the two addends, or whatever you choose to call them. Let's try this one right here first. Let's do 5 plus the opposite of 6. Okay, so I'm going to start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm going to add to it the opposite of 6. So if I added 6, I'd go that way. But I'm going to add the opposite of 6, which means I'm going to move in this direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 plus the opposite of 6 brings me to the opposite of 1. Also call it negative 1. Okay, now instead, let's do it this way. Let's do the problem this way. Negative 6 plus 5. Okay, I'm going to start at 1, 2, 3, 5. I'm going to start at the opposite of 6, negative 6, and then I'm going to add 5 to that, which means go 5 in that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm right there at -1 again. Okay, so in algebraic addition, it combines the operations of addition and subtraction into just one operation, addition, in which order does not matter. So you can have your problem set up any way, shape, or form, as long as you remember that all numbers are signed numbers. Okay, so let me show you another example. This one says 2 plus, now I didn't write the plus in here, instead I did something tricky, I wrote minus, okay? Now, the plus is actually still in there. Sometimes you see a problem set up like this because it's quicker just to write a minus sign. Alright, but what this says is 2 plus the opposite of 3. Okay? 2 plus the opposite of 3. Over here, I wrote this exact same problem. Okay? Remember, the order doesn't matter. So this says the opposite of 3 plus 2. Okay? Now, let's look at this one first, because I think this one might be more easily understood. The opposite of 3. So let me start right here with the opposite of 3. So I'm here. This would be 3. So this is the opposite of 3 right here. Now I need the opposite of 3. Okay? So here I am at the opposite of 3, and I'm going to go to the opposite of that. Okay? The opposite of 3 is 3. Started off with the opposite of 3, and then I went to the opposite of that. Now I'm just going to add 2 to it. 1 and 2. It's 5. Okay, let's take a look at it from this standpoint. Okay? I'm going to say 2 plus the opposite of 3. Okay? So here I am at 2, and now I'm going to add the opposite of 3. Alright, if I was here, let me think about this for just a quick second. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the plus sign in, so I remember that. Okay, the opposite of 3 is going to be, well, the opposite of 3 would be to take 3 away, and then the opposite of that would be to add 3 to it. Okay, so here I am at the opposite of 3. That would be take 3 away or go 3 to the left, and the opposite of that is go 3 to the right. Okay, so I'm just going to go 3, 2, 3 to the right. Okay, so either way, same thing. Okay, let me show you this other example right here. What I have here is the opposite of 2 minus 3. Okay, so -2 minus 3. This may be a little confusing. So what I did is I rewrote it in terms of algebraic addition. Okay, what I have here is -2 plus -3. Okay, so if you kind of get a feel for it, we're just going to add. We're going to keep making it bigger in the negative direction. So I'm going to start here at -2, and then I'm going to add to that the -3, or the opposite of 3. 1, 2, 3, and get here to -5. So if you rewrite it, okay, or even if you just look at this and you think of it in terms of algebraic addition, it just means put the plus sign in there, okay? Just remember, algebraic addition, it combines the operation of addition and subtraction into just one operation, which is addition, and things should simplify out a little bit. Okay, off to another example. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 5 minus 13. Now, because it's algebraic addition, not arithmetic, what I do is I can set it up like this, and I can say -13 plus 5. You see, this means the same thing. -13 plus 5, or the opposite of 13 plus 5. So I'm going to set it up like this, and then I'm going to do pretty much the difference of those two things, which is subtract. I'm going to do 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and what I'm going to get is 8. 8 is the difference between 5 and 13. Now, since the 13 is bigger in the negative direction, the opposite of 13 is bigger. Keep in mind I'm going to start at the opposite of 13, and then I'm going to go 8 to the right because I'm adding right here. So this is going to be in the opposite direction. I'm still going to be in a negative direction. I started at -13, and then I went 5 that way, and I got to -8. Okay, I'm going to ramp it up just a little bit, and I'm going to do positive 15 plus a negative 33, or 15 minus 33. Again, I'm just going to set it up like this, negative 33 plus 15. And now I'm going to do it by finding the difference, okay? Just the way you would always find the difference, okay? So 33 is bigger, I got it on the top. 15 is smaller, I have it on the bottom. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to borrow a 10, 13, 10, 9, 8. And then I'm going to subtract 2 minus 1 is 1. And the negative side is still bigger, so my answer is the opposite of 18. Just remember, the order doesn't matter. I can switch it around. I'm going to start at negative 33, and then I'm going to go 15 in that direction. Okay? Just what I did right here. Negative 33, and then 15 in that direction leaves me at negative 18.